cross-training workout where we are gonna work with the feet, footwork, to help us feel planted in the earth, to stay healthy in the ankles, the knees, the hips, how it all kind of channels up from the ground, and help us to move through space more freely. So clear your space, have water nearby. I'll be using a yoga mat today, as we'll start standing and then we'll move down into the earth and then come back up for some grounding work. And have a strap and a block, perhaps. You could also use a hand towel and a pillow instead. And let's begin. I'm barefoot just so we can really get into the feet. I would encourage you to take off your socks and spread your toes out and really feel like you are using your feet like hands today. So plant your feet a little wider than your hips width. And the first thing we want to explore is standing. How do you feel? Do you sense that you're standing evenly in both feet? Do you feel all four corners of the feet on the ground? And are your legs feeling really energized or kind of sluggish? So start by noticing how you're holding the weight, how you're planting yourself in the moment. And then perhaps even glance down at your feet and pick up your toes like you were kneading the floor, like a cat paw. And it's kind of fun to do with your hands too. But start to knead through the feet. Perhaps using a chair if you want to kind of test your balance and just start to knead the right foot. You can also use a wall. You could even do some of this seated in a chair if that feels better. Just all the footwork. Let's try the other side. And then bend both knees and do the same thing, just the right. I don't know about you, but I kind of have to do it with my hand in order to find it in my foot as well. So you start to release any tension in the shoulder and the wrist as well. And then let's bend the knees and shift the weight to the other side, and then start to knead your left paw. And again, this energy as you're doing that. Okay, now tap just your right foot. Hands on the hips might feel good. Then just tap your left foot. So waking up the muscles of the front of the shin there, and then go right and left. Again, if you're seated, pretty easy to do. You'll start to feel a little burn in the front of the legs. It's a good one. It's a good burn. Just, an activation, I hope. If it feels too hot, too much stress or effort, stop. Take a breath. Feel your feet on the floor. Now I'm going to turn it out a little and out. And again, maybe the upper body, because it's a dance class, maybe the upper body kind of opens up, mirroring lower body, upper body. Now, let's turn it in. So you're going to turn in and out, in and out. Now, only if it feels good in your shoulder. You could do the whole thing with your hands on your hips and get a feel for like the headlights of the hips turning in. You're on the ball of the foot, or you can sweep across, turn in. Now, little by little, you might notice the base of support is getting slightly broader. So let's plant the feet at least as wide as your maybe second position plie. And then here, can you just tap the right foot in, a demi plie. And maybe the shoulders want to go with you here. Now, plie through the middle, other side, so you're staying in it. And you're just tapping your foot. That's starting to feel the fronts of the legs activate. Plie. Now right, left, right, left. Maybe reach out. Yeah, inner thighs are starting to, come to the party, waking the energy up. Good. Now from here, plie, hands to the hips or your thighs as you need. And then shift, sit back in it. So setting the hips back some, one shoulder, other shoulder. So feeling the inner thigh stretching. This line from the inner thigh to the inner knee to the arches of the feet. And then center in the middle again if you need to come up a little higher or use support. We're gonna lift the heel now, once twice, 3, 4. Other side, left, lifting the heel. When you're doing that, feel like you're lifting the base of the pelvis. Now let's go right for 2 and left for 2. Now alternate. Maybe you're sitting a little deeper. Last one. Woo! And then heel toe if you need, 1 at a time or 2 together. Come back together. Now, just kind of pick your feet up like the floor is sticky. And one thing I like to sort of do is when working with the footing, right, is to actually play with walking, right? And really think about walking. So I'm backing it up a little, still flicking through the feet, maybe shaking it off, flicking through the arms. And then explore as you plant yourself, walking 1 foot in front of the other. Maybe you move around your space. I'm just walking to the forest and then I'm gonna turn. And then notice when you're walking, do you feel like the feet are heavy? Do you feel that you're rolling through the feet? Are they kind of, you know, more like flippers as you're walking? Do you feel like the weight of the legs is in the knees? Can you imagine lifting, not from here, like the legs don't have to start at your hip crease, but instead the attachments for your legs and the muscles really that connect the legs to the body actually attach more at like your low ribs. So take your hands to your rib cage, feel your low ribs there, and feel how that kind of connects you to your core muscles, your breathing muscle, the diaphragm, and then in the back, actually connecting you to your lats or the wings of the back of the body. So the back, the core, and the breath help you to lift your legs a little higher and to move. Imagine you're moving from like the base of the heart or the base of the breastbone from those low ribs. So put one hand in front of one hand on the front, one hand on the back if you can. And then imagine that you're moving from here. And take some deep breaths into these hands. So you're lightening the load, and then try the other hand in front just so we're even, yeah. We're lightening the load. We're lifting up. And we feel that the legs aren't moving from the ankles or the knees or even the hips, but the low belly, the low ribs, and your breath. So we walk really like from an opening through the chest, a lift through the chest, and a support system at your core. So just walking is so good for you for the foot articulation. Let's now imagine we're moving from here. You could keep the hands on your rib cage or just let the arms go and notice you're gonna take the right leg in front, bend the left, heel, ball of the foot, push off. Heel, ball of the foot, push off. So we're breaking it down slow-mo, ball of the foot, push off, and then feel the alternate, the arm coming forward, right? So we're alternating. And then heel, bend the knee, ball of the foot, push off, and you feel that push off comes into the opposite hand. So let's slow it down, switcheroo. If you're not running out of room, stay with it, yeah. But let's really find the over-exaggeration of the push off in the arm. Slow-mo, push off, and slow motion, walking. Find that push, the transfer of weight. Almost like you're slowly moving through your space. And then kind of find a spot and start to do this side-to-side walk. So slow-mo pushing off and across, picking up the other foot. So there's a moment of balance, and if you need, you can use some support around you, yeah? But you're pushing and crossing over. Pick up the foot and roll through the ball of the foot. So now knee lifts, ball of the foot, heel, shift, ball of the foot, heel. Slow motion. Good. Now, adding one more element here. Be aware of your space, and again, you could do this in place and just kind of underneath yourself, forward and back. Or walking backward, so ball of the foot, feel the shift, the lift, and the reach. Shift, lift, reach. Shift, and again, you know your space, lift, slow-mo, reach. So if you need more room, you can go forward, slow-mo for 2, and then back, lift and shift, slow-mo for 2. Forward, yeah, and that'll make it dramatic, like, ooh, like you're slow-mo running. Ah, feel the weight shift. And then bring the right leg back, slow-mo, lift, reach, lift, reach. It's tricky, yes, come back to the center. Now you're gonna shift side to side. So feet hips width, side and then reach up, and then side and reach up. So you're reaching towards the outer edges of your feet. You might even glance up at the top hand if that feels okay with your neck, your shoulders, your gaze. And then maybe reach a little further across. Ah, opening up the lungs. Nice work. And come back to the middle. So now, 2 feet are 1. That can be tricky. And then I'm gonna turn so you can see, but hands to the hips, 2 feet are 1, use support, step the right foot in front, as if you were taking that walk, yeah? And then see if you can rise up. So think about pushing down, like you're pushing a ball underwater as you rise up. Plie, yeah. And then heels and step. Now left leg, forward, parallel. Again, you're gonna push down to rise up, and then bend the knees, and then lower the heels, and push off. Let's try that one more time, each side. So you step forward, plie, and then rise up, and then lift your heels a little higher, lower your heels, push off, a little standing balance moment, and then the left leg. Plie, you're gonna push down to rise up, steady your gaze, lift your heels a little higher, pull the belly button in as you lower the heels, push off, and stand tall for a moment. Notice now, feet hips width, how you feel in your feet. Maybe a little more awake, yeah? Lift the heels a little, you could even bounce some here. Feels good to kind of jiggle some things. Yes, and then rock from heels to toes. Heels to toes. Again, do this seated. Heels to toes. Without like locking the knees out or using your jaw too much. Maybe massage your jaw while you're trying to rise up, and then heels to toes. Good. Pause. Now, start to circle the weight around all 4 corners of your feet. So feel the borders of the outer edge. Switch the direction. All right, almost like you had like roller skates for feet, yeah? And you can feel all 4 wheels, plie. Feel that you're grounded. Try to pull the heels apart. Imagine you are just rolling in this balanced way. And then roll the shoulders. Feel a little wiggle, bobble your head. And then just notice, maybe soften the knees and soften the jaw. Swallow. Feel the tailbone pouring down and the low belly lifting up. Open the palms out towards me a little, and then relax, and then open them out and relax. Just notice how you feel in your feet. And now with this awareness, let's bring it to the mat. We're gonna come on down. So your choice how you, actually I'm gonna face my things, yes. Your choice how you get there. If you wanna use a chair to help kind of raise the floor up to meet you, you could also use a block to support this step back in a lunge. But we've already been doing this like weight shift. Now plant and come to hands and knees. If your knees are sensitive, you could always fold the mat over like so. I'm just gonna show it because I think it might feel good for this one. Now you can just pat it a little bit more underneath your knees for today. Yeah, that's nice. So now as you come to all fours here, curl your toes under and just get a feel for sitting hips towards heels any amount. It's gonna be different for each body, each day. Then come forward and come to the tops of the feet and press back. And since I'm running out of room, I actually want to have my feet supported as well. So I'm gonna inch this up. So there's no part of my body that is on the hard surface of the floor right now, or ever, really. So balls of the feet and sit back, and then tops of the feet and anchor down, any amount. Forward, you might lift your gaze, or diagonally forward. You don't have to pick your head up, but just kind of take your heart forward, your gaze slightly forward, balls of the feet, and then tops of the feet. Now, variation on the theme here. And if at any point you need to come off of your hands, you could come to your forearms and do the same thing, okay? It's the right foot. We're gonna take the right foot behind your left knee. So the right ankle, really, behind the left knee. So this is figure 4, in reverse, really. And from here, we're gonna sit back any amount so that the thigh bone and the calf are really like wedging and giving a little squeeze, a little hug to the ankle, and then come forward. And then move the foot, maybe pedal it down a little bit more in the belly of the calf muscle, and then forward. And then you walk the leg down a little bit more towards the ankle almost. So using the ankle joint as a massage tool, now you're gonna put the foot right in the nook of your ankle, getting into the Achilles, the back of the heel, and then back up, and then try a couple more spots. Maybe there was one that was really exciting. You could also do this on your fists and pressing back. So we're using the ankle as a massage tool for the calf and the back of the leg, the hamstring. Good, now rest. Come to hands and knees. You might even use your block if you wanna sit for a moment and build your throne as high as you need. You could even, this is a higher perch, but it's an option. Oh, yeah. And then take a breath, roll the shoulders. If you need to come off the knees, you could also curl the toes under in between sides. Take your weight into fingertips, into the feet, and then you've got the block to help support maybe a long spine, this forward fold from the hips, and then you can bend and straighten the legs some. And feel all the space you've opened up, the back of the leg, the back of the calf, down into the hamstring and the heel. Good, then gently, again, you can use the block, use the chair, use whatever you need to come forward, taking the knees back down. From here, hands, fingertips, forearms, fists, as it works in your body. Oh, I think I'm here, yep, okay. And then take your left ankle across. You're gonna be on the top of the opposite shin there. Take your left ankle across, and the ankle joint is right behind the knee, so that when you shift the weight back like you're gonna sit your hips back, you're pinning the ankle between the leg there. And then release it and move it down some and sit into it until you feel interested. Yeah, it's interesting. It'll make you pay attention as you move the leg or the foot down the leg towards the back of the ankle into the Achilles maybe, sitting toward that. And you don't have to go as low as I'm going. I'm just showing you an option, but you can feel it really anywhere along this path. Calves and the lower legs can be really tight, and this helps to free up the ankle joint, support the knee joint, release the hamstring so that the hips and the low back can open up. Go ahead and curl the toes under again. And you might, once again, sit and pause. Maybe on the balls or the tops of the feet. Or a little elevator ride, fingertips, toes. Again, you can use the block underneath to help lift. Bend the knees, drape at the hips. You could also rest the elbows here. If your strap is nearby, another option, hold onto the buckly bit of your strap. Make sure it's not, doing that, moving around on you. And then the strap's there to like open this shape up so you could like fly your chest forward. Remember, the legs start like at the back of the heart, the low ribs, the low belly. Can you start to stand from that space and then take the arms and really push them away from you. Inhale. Try to take the arms maybe towards the sky some, and you could wrestle right and left. But open up the chest here. Head's on your spine. Try not to look up. You just let it be what it is. Or maybe peek at what I'm doing and then come back into it so you're not looking around for what's up. And then bend your knees a little more. Press your hips forward. Stand tall. Well done. And then inhale. You're going to take the arms any amount. You could hold on and feel like you're pulling the strap apart. Palms open. Might feel better. Try that. Try palms open, bending the knees, and sort of flying here. Yeah. Try one palm up, one palm down. Huh. What's that about? Oh, I'm not doing it. Yeah, there we go. Try the other side. Okay. It's like a brain teaser. And then maybe palms up, palms down. Whatever feels the best in your body. Thumbs forward. Yeah, try it on. And then release the strap, take it down to the floor. And let yourself climb back down. Again, you can use the support, walking your knees to the ground. And then come off to one hip. Unfurl your mat if you folded it over, or maybe move the blanket or whatever you had for cushion out from underneath. And then let's come onto our back. So you're gonna lie on your side, thread one arm under, put your ear to the earth, and then come onto your back. So as you find yourself here, you can take that same like toe tapping that we started with, kind of picking up one foot and the other. And as you do that, part the feet wider than your hips and allow for this shifting side to side. So we're gonna roll over the arches of the feet, inner arch, and then the outer edges of the feet. And you notice as you pay attention to the footing that there's also a lot going on with the knees and the hips and how it's all connected and how this movement starts to move into the knees, into the hips, turning in, turning out. Good. And now come back to center. Let's bring the feet in so that it's hips width, and you can lift your hips and place the block, perhaps, or a pillow or a big book underneath your hips. And take a deep breath here. Let the legs fall in and release down. So this is a nice release for the low back. Draw your right knee in toward your chest. If it's really challenging to pull the knee in, you could also take the strap just around the shin or the back of the leg. And then, as if you were skywriting, use your foot to draw the alphabet. I'm going all caps. You could do this in the language of your choice, but go from A to Z. I'm somewhere around J, K, as if you were like, clearing the clouds with your foot, as if you were skywriting. Maybe you skywrite like your intention, a love note to yourself. Whatever it is, you're articulating, the quill of your foot. And in this way, we move the foot through any possible range of motion, articulating, and then kind of knead, like you're reaching up towards the clouds. Bend and straighten a few times. And then, flex the foot, send it long, and then plant the foot. Notice the difference in the sole of the foot, the energy up the shin, the knee feels maybe a little more energy, even the hip, you feel perhaps more grounded. Even into the lungs, into the rib cage, the shoulders, perhaps even your face feels different from right side to left side. It's all connected. Let's try the left side to even it out. So draw the left knee in. Again, you can loop, lasso as you need. And the leg doesn't have to be straight to start to scribe. Yeah. And A to Z. It can be as slow as you like. Chest, how quickly. But try to hit every, dot your I's, cross your T's, all the things. And maybe while the face is doing, or while the foot's doing that, can your face move around some, your jaw? I'm around M. I'm not sure where you are, but hopefully take your time. I don't mean to rush you. Good. Notice if you need to move your head a little, if you need to bend or straighten. W, maybe an X. And you may find, go ahead and bend and straighten a few times. You can even kind of knead again. You may find that the leg gets really tired, or yes, all the blood's starting to rush back down. It can become very challenging, and it's so good for you. It really helps. Go ahead and straighten the leg long, plant it, pause for a moment. Again, check in. Sole of the foot, top of the foot, the arches, ankles, calves, knees, thighs, hips, ribs, shoulders, arms, hands, jaw, face, even the point of contact where your head is resting on the floor. Can you notice, observe any shifting there? Take a deep breath. Exhale. And then push into the feet. Imagine you're squeezing the inner thighs together some. They don't touch, but just that sense of gathering. And then move the block out from underneath you. Come all the way down. Let it rock a little bit side to side. And then roll yourself to your side. Plant your hands on the earth. Build back up. Use a chair if you like. The block as you need. Stepping forward and clear your strap. And then, pushing off. Feet hips width. Press towards straight arms with a long spine. And then send the tail down, the low belly up. You stand tall. And then observe as you're walking. Again, maybe take the hands from the low belly and the sacrum, which is like the plate of the pelvis. You can take the hands a little higher perhaps and feel like you're moving from your lungs, that the breath is moving you. And then take the opposite hand, start to move around. Notice the difference in the floor versus the mat. Perhaps even find a seat and notice as you use the hands to support, you crease at the hips, you sit down. Just notice maybe how much more open the ankles are to this hinge, and then press forward and Stand tall, reach up, and then again, notice, do you have a little more range of motion? Maybe you can even like kick the legs up one at a time, circle it out, throw a tantrum, flutter kick, plant your feet, stand tall, roll the shoulders. And again, bringing yourself back to the beginning. Feet hips width. Notice if you're favoring one leg or the other. Bend the knees, spread the toes in the sand, imagine. Glance down at your feet. Can you imagine you're pulling the feet apart and lifting the inner arches of your feet? Perhaps pick up your big toe. You could also do this seated. Relax. Pick up your pinky toe. This is mind power. Relax. Try to pick up your big toe and your pinky toe. Breathe. Relax. Wiggle. Now glance down at your feet. Pull the heels apart, lift the arches. Now try to pick up your middle 3 toes. So keep the big toe and the pinky toe down and pick up the middle 3. And notice, what information, how that's translating, if that's challenging. And then rest and walk it off, shake it off, kick it out. And turn your head side to side. Notice that that movement is also happening in the ankles. Let it sway, swing. I'm Suzy. Thank you so much. Reach up. Let it go. Thank you for dancing with me, for moving your feet to moving through space with ease and grace. And